Hello viewers, in this video I'll start with the next topic of integrals, which is definite integrals. Here I'll discuss about definite integrals, what is area function, and the first and second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So first we will see what is the meaning of definite integral. So far we have seen indefinite integral. Say for example, if we have integral f of x dx is equal to capital F of x plus c, we call such integral as indefinite integral because there is no one unique value for c. C is an arbitrary constant. So that is the reason why we call this integral as indefinite integral. If we have certain limits for this integral, say integral a to b f of x dx, then such integrals are called definite integrals. Here a is called the lower limit of the integral and b is called the upper limit of the integral. This integral a to b f of x dx, it is calculated as, we have to find the integral and then apply the limits. That is equal to f of x from a to b, or it is equal to capital F of b minus f of a. This is how we have to calculate the definite integral, integral a to b f of x dx. Now let us see an example. Now let us calculate integral 1 to 2 x square dx. So to calculate this, first we have to use the standard integral. We know what is integral x square dx. It is x cube by 3. Then we have to substitute the limits. Lower limit is 1 and upper limit is 2. So first we have to substitute the upper limit for x. Since this is equal to f of b minus f of a, here we will get this is equal to 2 cube upon 3 minus 1 cube upon 3. So this is equal to 8 by 3 minus 1 by 3, which is 7 by 3. So if we see this integral 1 to 2 x square dx, we are getting a definite value for this integral. So such integrals are called definite integrals. Now we will see what is the meaning of integral a to b f of x dx. This integral a to b f of x dx, it is nothing but it is the area bounded by the curve y is equal to f of x, the ordinates x is equal to a, x is equal to b, and the x-axis. So the region which is bounded by these is basically integral a to b f of x dx. So this region is integral a to b f of x dx. So we can write it as, it is the area which is bounded by y is equal to f of x, the ordinates x is equal to a and x is equal to b, and the x-axis. Now suppose if we have x belongs to the closed interval a comma b. Say for example, we have x in this closed interval a comma b. Then integral a to x f of x dx, this is the area function. This is equal to a of x and this is the area function. So this part is the area function. So it is the area bounded by the curve y is equal to f of x, x is equal to a, and the point and the x-axis. So the area function is given by integral a to x f of x dx. Now why we call this function as area function, I will explain with an example. Now let us take an example, integral 0 to 2 x dx. This integral 0 to 2 x dx, we can calculate it as integral x dx is nothing but it is x square upon 2, and we have the limits, upper limit is 2 and lower limit is 0. So this is equal to 2 square by 2 minus 0, or this is equal to 2. Now if we consider f of x is equal to x or y is equal to x, it is nothing but it is this line. So this is the line y is equal to x. So if we consider this definite integral, integral 0 to 2 x dx, then this is the area which is bounded by y is equal to x, then x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 2. This is x is equal to 2. Now here since this line is y is equal to x, then we have this length is also equal to 2 units. So this length is also equal to 2 units. Now if we consider this, it is a triangle, it is a right angle triangle. So OAB is a right angle triangle. So integral 0 to 2 x dx, it is nothing but it is the area of this triangle. Now we know in our earlier classes we have studied the formula for area of a triangle. So here area of triangle OAB, you know, it is equal to half into base into height. So this is equal to half into, here base is 2 units and height is also 2 units. So it is half into 2 into 2. So this is equal to 2 square units. So here we can see that the area of triangle ABC is equal to 2 square units, and the area bounded by integral 0 to 2 x dx is also 2 square units. Now this is the reason why we say definite integral as area under curves. Now we will see the first fundamental theorem of integral calculus. It says let f be a continuous function on the closed interval a comma b, and let a of x be the area function. Then a dash of x is equal to f of x for all x belongs to closed interval a comma b. We already saw that area function is given by integral a to x f of x dx. So if this is the area function, then a dash of x is equal to f of x for all x belongs to closed interval a comma b. This is the first fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Then we have the second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. It says let f be continuous function defined on the closed interval a comma b, and capital F be an antiderivative of f. Then integral a to b f of x dx is equal to capital F of x with the limits a to b, and this is equal to f of b minus f of a. This I have explained in the beginning itself. So integral a to b f of x dx, it is nothing but it is capital F of b minus f of a. This is the second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Now coming to the exercise questions. These are the questions from exercise 7.9 of chapter 7 integrals from the book Class 12 Applied Mathematics by M.L. Agarwal. Evaluate the following integrals. So the first one is integral 2 to 3 x square dx. So here we have to remember the standard integrals and all the different methods of integration. We have to integrate this function and then apply the limits. So integral x square dx is x cube upon 3 with the limits 2 to 3. So this is equal to 1 by 3, we can take it outside. First we have to substitute the upper limit. Upper limit is 3. So it is 3 cube minus, then substitute the lower limit 2 cube. So this is equal to 1 by 3 into 27 minus 8. So this is 19 upon 3. Next question, integral minus 1 to 1 x plus 1 into dx. Again we have to integrate using the standard integral. So integral x dx is x square by 2 plus integral dx is x. Now we can substitute the limits. So this is equal to, first we have to substitute the upper limit. That is, in place of x we have to substitute 1. So it is 1 by 2 plus 1 minus, then substitute the lower limit. Lower limit will be minus 1 the whole square by 2 minus 1. So it is equal to half plus 1 minus 1 the whole square is again plus 1. So it is minus half plus 1. So plus half and minus half will go. This is equal to 2. Next question, integral 2 to 3 1 by x dx. Now we know integral 1 by x dx is log mod x. Now we have to substitute the limits 2 to 3. So this is equal to log 3 minus log 2. Now we know the properties of logarithms. Log a minus log b is equal to log a by b. So using that property, log 3 minus log 2 is nothing but it is log 3 by 2. Next question, integral minus 4 to minus 1 1 by x dx. Again integral 1 by x dx, we know it is log mod x with the limits minus 4 to minus 1. So it is equal to log mod minus 1 minus log mod minus 4. So the modulus of a negative number is positive. So it is log 1 minus log 4. We know that log 1 is 0. So it is 0 minus log 4, or this is equal to minus log 4. Next question, integral 0 to 1 1 by 2x minus 3 dx. Now we know integral 1 by 2x minus 3 is log mod 2x minus 3 divided by 3. So that half I am writing it here with the limits 0 to 1. So this half can be taken outside. Now substituting the upper limit, it is log 2 minus 3 minus log 0 minus 3. So it is equal to half of log 2 minus 3 is minus 1, mod minus 1 is plus 1. So it is log 1 minus log mod minus 3 is log 3. So this is equal to half log 1 is 0 minus log 3. So this is equal to minus log 3 by 2. Next question, integral 0 to 1 root of 5x plus 4 into dx. So this we can write it as integral 0 to 1 5x plus 4 the whole raised to half into dx. Now we know integral 5x plus 4 the whole raised to half is 5x plus 4 the whole raised to half plus 1 upon half plus 1. So it is 5x plus 4 the whole raised to 3 by 2 into 2 by 3 into 1 by 5, since the coefficient of x is 5. This with the limits 0 and 1. So we can take this outside. So this is 2 by 15 into 5x plus 4 the whole raised to 3 by 2 with the limits 0 and 1. Now substituting the upper limit is 1. So we have to put x is equal to 1. So 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 raised to 3 by 2 minus, substituting the lower limit, x as 0. So it is 4 raised to 3 by 2. So this is equal to 2 by 5 into 2 by 15 into, here 9 raised to 3 by 2 is nothing but it is 9 is 3 square, the whole raised to 3 by 2. So it is 3 cube. Similarly, the 4 raised to 3 by 2 is 2 square, the whole raised to 3 by 2. So it is 2 cube. So it is 3 cube minus 2 cube. So it is 2 by 15 into 27 minus 8, which is 19. So this is equal to 38 upon 15. Next question, integral 2 to 3, 3 raised to x dx. Now we know integral a raised to x dx is a raised to x upon log a plus c. So here integral 2 to 3, 3 raised to x dx will be 3 raised to x upon log 3 with the limits 2 to 3. So this is equal to 1 by log 3 into upper limit is 3. So in place of x we have to substitute 3. So it is 3 cube minus lower limit is 2. In place of x we have to substitute 2, 3 square. So this is equal to 9 by log 3 into 2, or it is equal to 18 by log 3. Next question, integral 2 to 3, 1 by x square minus 1 dx. Now we have studied a special form of integral. Integral dx upon x square minus a square is equal to 1 by 2a log mod x minus a upon x plus a plus c. So using that integral we can write this as 1 by, here a is 1. 1 by 2 into 1 log mod x minus 1 upon x plus 1 with the limits 2 to 3. So this is equal to half can be taken outside, substituting the upper limit. So log 3 minus 1 is 2 by 3 plus 1 is 4 minus, substituting the lower limit 2. Log 2 minus 1 is 1, 2 plus 1 is 3. So this is equal to half into log half minus log 1 by 3. We know that log a minus log b is equal to log a by b. So this is equal to log of half divided by 1 by 3, or it is equal to half log 3 by 2. I hope this video was useful for you. Thank you for watching.